Hello. I seem to be online. Okay, the screen is not supposed to be black and I'm trying to fix that. Has it been fixed? Okay, so you people are able to hear me? Oh my god. Oh my god, I think I might be online. Hi. Um hi. I think this worked. My audio is super low though. Okay, let's try something. Let's try drawing a line. All right, all right, all right. Look at that. I drew something. Let's draw more things. Let's draw some lines. Just some squigglies. There is a slight delay, I think, but otherwise, we are good. Yeah. Technology is mesmerizing. I'm glad you people can see my squiggles. This is a good sign. Hello, my beautiful people. It's very nice of you all to be here. I don't really know how to act online, so I'm sure this is going to be an experience. I am just going to let's draw a me. This is slightly slower. Oh my god. All right. My hair is super long, so I keep drawing like my little me like this, but it no longer represents me. I'm glad you guys can't see my face right now because my hair is just a mess. And I'm going to cut it eventually, but I'm just waiting for things to be like, good again. and then I will have a haircut that accurately represents what I draw myself as. Okay, look, we drew something. Yay, we did it. We did a thing. Wow, my computer is super slow. All right, so this is something that I'm gonna have to adjust to, I think. Let's draw a snail. Snails are very good to draw because they're just like some squiggles, and then you add two thingies, and there you go. There's a snail. We are drawing so much stuff in this house tonight. A star. Let's draw multiple stars. Sometimes I have to like teach online classes, and when I'm waiting for my students to log in, I just keep drawing stars like this using all of the colors of the pens on the website. And I say that for every star that I draw, I get 1 star better at drawing stars. I don't think I'm going to be getting any trophies for my star drawing skills anytime soon, but look at that, we create some little dudes. We call it art. And then there's the easy way of drawing stars where you just like kind of make the crisscrossy lines inside. Or when I found out that you can just manipulate the amount of points that your star has, I felt like I had hacked art itself. I was revolutionizing the art of star drawing. And I still am to this day. All right, I draw every star of the Brazilian flag. I am such a terrible Brazilian because I am blanking on how many stars we have in the flag. And also they're organized into like neat constellations. And I don't know those by heart. The Brazilian flag, in my opinion, is such a good flag. Like, it's such an aesthetic flag. The color combination works out nicely. You know, got stars in it, so that's good. Simple geometric shapes keeps it nice and cool for kids to draw, but then you add the stars for some extra detail. I just don't like the writing in the middle of the flag. I think the flag would be improved if we had no writing in it. But you know, as far as flags go, I think we have a good flag. One per state, yeah, that makes sense. 27 stars, maybe. Uh, it feels right, like 27 stars. 26 states plus, you know, the capital. Just do 420, nice. Okay, so the Brazilian flag, it looks a little something like this. So you got like the green. And there you go, there's some green. And then you get some yellow and you draw whatever this shape is called. Is this the shape that they call a rhombus? Because my instinct is to say something like a losange, but that doesn't exist, so I'm gonna call it a rhombus. So you draw that, whatever that's called, and then you go ahead and you put a circle in the middle, and then inside of the circle you gotta do a white stripe, but everything's white, so I'm just gonna do it in gray. There you go, you put like a white stripe in the middle, and then you write ordem e progresso, which is like order and progress. And then you put stars in the blue, because the blue represents the sky, and then you put stars in it. And one of the constellations is like the one constellation that we see on the south hemisphere, southern hemisphere? Yeah, actually there's only 1 star at the bottom. So yeah, there's like constellations and stuff in the flag. And it's a masterpiece of design. Yes, the green stands for weed. The yellow stands for, you know. The blue stands for blue dabadi dabadai. Thanks for the 69s, everybody. Nice. All right. The one thing that is missing from this flag, I think, is more colors. Because one sure way of improving any flag is just putting more colors in it. Let's create a new layer and let's try drawing things. I did get some requests from Twitter and stuff, and I will try to get through those, but if you guys have any suggestions, anything you would like me to draw specifically, you can just post it there and I'll try to get to it. Although, like, I don't have... You know, art's supposed to be fun, so let's just all have a fun time and draw a art. One thing that I'm going to draw, because it's good to get the hands warmed up, is a request from named goose person on Twitter who requested a goose wearing a scarf. So step one, draw a goose. My knowledge on how geese work comes entirely from the Untitled Goose Game. So you just draw like a snake and you give it a beak, and there you go, there's a goose. Give it like a little wing, give it some feetsies. Now the most important thing, the scarf, because that's what separates the fashionable geese from like the normal geese. Look at that beautiful goose. So now let's add another layer. I'm gonna start organizing these into folders because I am a paragon of organization. All right. So now we use color theory to determine a nice line art color. I'm gonna go with this, actually the grayish blue that I used for the sketch is already good. So, did I really draw on this layer? That won't do. I'm going to put a layer at the bottom of everything so that I always have a nice white background that I am not going to pollute with other stuff. Drawing Anastasia from the greatest animated musical ever, that would be nice. I have tried drawing Anastasia throughout my life. Anastasia is like one of my favorite movies to put on as just background noise, so I'll be doing something else and then I'll just have nice Anastasia noises playing in the background. And then every time I do that, I'm like, ooh, I should try drawing Anastasia, because usually if I have background noise somewhere, it's because I am drawing something. Sometimes I draw things just as an excuse so that I can have background noise. But then I'm like, ooh, I should try drawing Anastasia. And it never works out. I can never capture her essence, her Dawn Bluthness, if you will. So one day I will draw a very beautiful Anastasia. I just don't know if this is going to be the day. And I know that part of the fun in drawing is like, ooh, draw this in your style. But sometimes all you want to do is copy somebody else's style. And then it's frustrating when you can't draw exactly like the other person draws, even if it was never the point. Okay, so the secret to drawing here, I am realizing, is to just draw very slow. And there we go. Look at that. It looks like he's wearing a marshmallow on his neck, which sometimes a scarf can be a marshmallow, and that's good because they're both toasty and cozy. I kind of want to draw it flapping in the wind because this is a fabulous goose that we are talking about here. All right, all right, all right. We are drawing a line, everybody. I might use this as like a second sketch layer, a refined sketch layer, just while I learn how to do things on the online. I think people who are good at being online have like two computers, one for streaming and the other for doing the thing that they do while they are streaming. And that might help with the delay. But I don't know. I already, like, I'm not a person who draws digitally a lot. I usually go for traditional art. So this is already like, there's a bit of a learning curve that happens naturally, and it's enhanced by my other tendencies. Do goose feet look like this? I could be a good artist and get some references. But I was like, this is an easy win. This is a goose. I don't need references. I am already a professional at goose drawing, even though this is the first goose I have ever drawn in my entire life. Do I keep the wing or do I not keep the wing? Oh, I do. I am a fan of this goose. Look at him. He's just a little dude. Let's fix that beak. Make him look like less of a worm. Should I give him eyebrows? I kind of like his eyebrowless look. I think it's like, even though eyebrows are the window to the expression, I think that he looks more expressive without the eyebrows. Okay, look at that. We drew a goose. I keep being impressed with the fact that I drew something even though I was here the entire time drawing the thing. But that's just what happens when you make art, you know? It's full of surprises, even if you cause the surprises. Nice. Okay, okay. Now we're going in with the real line art. That's right. I say this as I create probably sketch layer number 15. If I zoom in, perhaps I can help ease the delay. This is nice. I have decided that the scarf, in my head, I have decided that the scarf is going to be like a warm color, so it would be nice if the line art also was some sort of warm color. And with that, I pretend that I know color theory. Red scarf or pink? I don't know. I was thinking red, but then I'm just going to put it in there and see what happens. I used to draw on like another program, but it doesn't work anymore ever since I updated my computer. So the moral of the story is never update your computer, kids. It's a trap. But then I had to learn to use Fire Alpaca, which from my DeviantArt days, I had heard of people who really liked this program and you could do like some really cool stuff with it. And I'm still getting the gist of it. Like, I updated my computer a while ago, but I'm still getting the gist of using this program. And then I discovered this brush that I just named Fluffy Brush, and I don't even remember if it comes with the program or if I installed it, because I downloaded like a lot of brush packs to try to find something that emulated the style of the brush that I was used to on the other program. And then I found this one, and I really love it. It's got such a nice texture to it, and it is kind of fluffy. I don't know. It's just got this greeble to the edge, soft greeble, which I am such a fan of. The problem is that, like, the very last thing that I drew for the channel on my computer before I updated it, it was all of the sprites for my Q&A video, which is good because I can't draw like that anymore. I simply don't have that brush anymore because the program doesn't open. So, like, the way that I draw my little avatar for the videos, that's gone. I'm gonna have to find another way of drawing it with like new brushes and stuff. Although I have made videos where I drew art specifically for that video, and then I, like, you know, I just figure something out. I think I use this specific fluffy brush even. One day I'm going to update the sprites for my channel, I think. That would be something nice, but it takes time, and also I am so used to the sprites that I already have, and it's like they express such specific emotions. I stare at them way too much because I have to edit them. And even though it's like by my standards, it's old art and I'm supposed to not be super fond of it anymore, I think that because they solve a purpose, they solve a purpose? They fulfill a purpose, let's say that. I think because they fulfill a purpose, I don't hate them. I don't know if anyone else here either likes to draw or draws frequently, but I don't know, man. There's a point when my art is just not absolutely recent, and then I don't like it anymore. And miraculously enough, this hasn't happened with the sprites that I currently use. So I know that I should update them, because if I had to draw them again, I know that there's just some choices that I would make differently, some anatomy decisions. But I don't know, I'm not entirely fed up with them. So I just think it's nice to have art that you don't completely hate. Your art is good and you should love it. That's my wisdom for today. I do like how the feet turned out. I don't know if that's how they would look in real life, but I am pleased with it. Now let's draw those cute little eyes. And we have a goose, which I did not draw in the sketch layer. I am learning. Okay, so I'm just gonna make another layer underneath. I don't think I'm gonna start grouping them inside of a folder. Let's try like a nice autumn shade for this scarf. I don't know what's going on in the chat, so thank you for sharing the wisdom. You're welcome. I am so wise. I'm just full of wisdom. God bless you all. This is literally just Boris. You know what? Boris deserves a fancy scarf. Give him a beanie. The beanie was not included in the original prompt, so I don't want to soil the artistic vision of... Where is this layer supposed to be? Okay, it's a good thing that I understand how layers work. So I'm just gonna color in like this. Is there an easier way of coloring things? Fire Alpaca is actually very forgiving with the paint bucket. Like it works differently than in other softwares. It's like, you know when you have MS Paint? MS Paint doesn't have layers, so you just color something with the paint bucket and then it like colors the entire image except for the stuff that was contoured by some sort of line art, because it only has one layer. Fire Alpaca acts like all of the layers are one layer, so if you color something in with the paint bucket, it's like, let me see if I can make it work. See, it colors in the entire area, but it leaves this white edge around. But I mean, it does make it easier to paint. So I guess I'm gonna do that here and just go around this little white edge right now. And it looks decent. Is this what normal people do when they are making art digitally? I wouldn't know. Yes, look at that. Oh, I do like that color, but let's toggle with it just a little bit. Mm. Yes, 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 I am in favor of this. Let's make another layer. I'm being bullied and people want me to name the layers, but I refuse to. The goose from a Korean drama. He looks very beautiful. You can change with the pixel thing on the top part of the toolbar. That makes sense. I should try that out. Every program does that. Really? Okay, I believe you because I have no way of testing that right now. And also because I guess I never bothered exploring it. It's just that edge bothered me so much. And like sometimes I don't finish, like I don't contour the exact shape of the thing. Like here, there's a gap, right? So if I went in there with the paint bucket, it would just create a gap, and I don't want that. And then I don't want to like make a line and then put the paint in there because then I would have to color over the line. Ugh. Art is suffering. And here we have programs making our lives so much easier, and I'm just complaining about them. Oh, I should have messed with the pixel thing. Yeah, I said I would do it and then I forgot. Okay, so let's fix the feet. And then once I move on to the beak upstairs, I'm going to try to mess around with the pixel thing. Okay, I can expand it by 1 pixel. Does that work? It does. I am learning so much. I act like I am the one bringing you guys wisdom, but you are the true educators in this chat. Wow, I'm not going to change this orange that I picked because I like it. Let's put this one here with the scarf, and then I was so happy when I figured out how I can like, what's the name of this thing? There was a different name, like you lock the layer, I guess. This fire alpaca thing is a mixture of Portuguese and English. At least in my computer, because I don't think that they translated all of the things. And then I sometimes search something on like an online tutorial and it's different, like the name that they say it is and the name that appears as the untranslated word here. But the day when I found out how I can like clip the layer, that's not the name. When I can do the thing and then like if I color it outside of the layer's borders, it doesn't go outside of it. I was so happy. Again, I guess this is something basic that like a lot of programs usually do, but it's not like I know how programs work. Like when I was learning how to draw, I used MS Paint for everything, and I had developed techniques, you know, to simulate the effects that I could use with different layers. So like I knew how to sketch with like a lighter color, and I had this whole scheme of how I could erase the like sketch line art, and then I could make like new lines on top, and there was this thing where you could use the eraser and only color the things that were the same color as the eraser. There was a lot of technique to it, and for a while, I really understood MS Paint. And then I got Paint Tool Sci on my first computer, and that was revolutionary because then I could like really use layers. Which, you know, when you go from no layer to a lot of layers, it feels you have all of the power now. Unlimited layer power. I don't like this texture. I'm gonna try again. And then the more you use the layers, the more I abandoned MS Paint. And then suddenly I forgot all of the techniques that I had developed, and they are now lost to time. Because of course like, if I were smart back then, I would have made them into tutorials on Neopets, and then I would have impressed everybody with my MS Paint skills. However, I didn't do that, so now I can't even follow my own tutorials because they don't exist. That's why you should record knowledge, so that future generations, aka me, can remember how to do things, even when you lose the experience itself. Woo, okay. I think I am de-fancying the scarf by giving it texture. So it's a goose that is fancy in spirit, but the scarf itself is well loved, you know, because it's all fuzzy and stuff. It's not like a silk scarf, it's just a beautiful wool red scarf. A mandatory item in the wardrobe of any fashionable goose. And there we go, I like it. Let's give the beak some more shading. That's why you name your layers, because then you remember where things are. So let's go down here and shade the feet, and also fix this little area that I don't like. All right, I'm gonna use advanced techniques here. I'm gonna get a color from the scarf, and I'm gonna place it over the leg. I like shading things like this. I don't know if you can call it shading, because sometimes my purpose isn't even like shading things, it's just giving it some flair. Like, you shouldn't come to me for actual art advice, okay? I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just having fun with it, which I guess it's the purpose of art. So maybe do listen to me, but not too much. So I just like putting some lines and then pretending like they serve a purpose. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. So if they don't, you just erase them. But if they do, you get to go like, ah, yes, this was my plan all along. I am the master of art. And there you go. If you remove some of the opacity, suddenly you have a thing right there, you know, a mixture of the two colors. And it ties the whole thing together. Or I pretend it does because I like the way it looks. I guess that's the secret for coming up with art hacks. You just do whatever you like, and then if it turns out good, you get to be like, ah, yes, this is actually a patented technique that you should all use on your own art, and then credit me with. And then you make like a YouTube video, and everyone uses your super cool life hack. Or a Neopets tutorial. Alright, look at that. I know that I'm saying look at that a lot, but sometimes you just gotta look at things, okay? Especially if it is a goose as nice as this one. I'm gonna give it a little blush. But I'm gonna put it on top of the other layers. There was a time when I used to be like really unhinged with my blushes. I would draw anything and then I would put like a ton of blush on it. Just some lines, like these squiggly lines right here, and I would be like, yes, yes, this is peak character design. You just draw a guy and then you make him blush. And nowadays I'm like, not everything needs to blush all the time. And I think that I should recapture some of my blushing techniques from the olden days. I'm gonna give this goose just a hint of pink shading. This delay, sometimes I lift up the brush and then it just makes a line. And I know that there's a setting somewhere that I could toggle with and make it better, but the setting that I'm thinking of is this number right here, which is already on 0. And it's just making that delay because it's too much for my poor computer to handle. She's not a gaming computer, she's just a regular gal. And if I do too much stuff, she just loses it, the poor thing. One day I shall have a fancy gaming computer. I'm glad you guys are enjoying my goose. I am quite fond of this little dude. Yeah. Does this look good? No, don't make a line. I was better before. I shouldn't have made that other line. Is there a way where I can, like... I wish I could use my paintbrushes as an eraser, but I still haven't figured out a way to do that on Fire Alpaca. And I always forget to look it up, so I will die in ignorance. Alright. I'm gonna just do this right here. I love this goose. It's so beautiful. Let's add some interest to the background, and as soon as I do that, it's going to... The goose is transparent, that's the problem, but I really want to give the background some texture, and there is a paintbrush here that I'm also a fan of. I think it's this one, Soft Blend. It's got like a nice scarf color, and then just, yes. 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 But make it softer, because this is a soft boy. And now, see, here's the thing. If I get the paint bucket, because there's some stuff on like the lower layers, if I do this, it just colors in the spaces. I don't even know what it's doing. Like, did the other program do this too? I don't remember because I never used the paint bucket. But that's all right, we can just go in manually and make the goose colored again. Since I'm not looking at a reference, I start to second guess every single thing that I'm doing, and now I'm questioning if geese are even white to begin with. In the Untitled Goose Game, they are white. And I guess they can be other colors. No, what I'm thinking of is swans. Swans can be black because you have a black swan. The famous ballet Black Swan. Do you have a black goose? I guess you could have one. Petition for geese to be rainbow sometimes. Just sometimes, not all the time. We need more rainbow animals on this planet. I say this and I already regret it. I'm sorry, animals, you can be whatever color you want. I'm sure that you have some beautiful displays of color going on. All right. Yes. One thing, thinking about my sprites again, because I'm selfish and I only think about myself, one thing that bothers me is that like some of my sprites have like just a single pixel that I forgot to color. And I'm thinking about it because what if I forget to color a single pixel in this goose also? I guess that would be my trademark style. So if I update the sprites, I promise not to let any pixels uncolored. And if you never noticed that before about my sprites, you can go watch my videos and then look for the sprites that I forgot to color. Do black swans actually exist? That is like that is the question for today. Look at this soft boy. I'm calling it a soft boy, but boy is gender neutral in this context. Should I toggle with the background? This gives it more of a winter vibe. I was going for a fall goose originally. But geese can exist in many seasons. Yeah. Yeah, okay. We drew something! I should probably save this before the program crashes. I don't know if you can actually see my save screen. If so, take a look at the stuff that I'm working on, I guess. I'm gonna call this stream art, but then here's my secret. I refuse to just like keep saving things. Like I create one big canvas here, which is sized according to thumbnail size. And then instead of actually saving this as an image, I just take a screenshot of the thing. Because then I don't have to think about it. So there we go. We have saved our goose. And this has been our first drawing. No, we can't. That's great. So now you guys don't know the exclusive videos that I'm working on, as if I wasn't going to publish them next weekend. As representative of the Pink Isle, we humbly request a drawing of our Lord and Savior, Bibble, and how could I refuse that? But for Bibble, I'm going to do the right thing and actually get a reference picture. There we go. I have a Bibble on my phone. I have created a new folder. Let's name the folders. Let's not name the layers. But I will name the folders. Okay, so the first thing you need to know about Bibble is that the boy is round. The second thing you need to know about Bibble is that he is our Lord and Savior. So now let's just start off with a nice blob for the boy, and that's too big of a blob. Maybe that's too small of a blob now. There's one of the Fairytopia movies, I think it's on the third Fairytopia movie, Bibble is visited by the Tooth Fairy who exists in the Fairytopia universe, and she gives him like a little fairy cupcake. And I wanted to draw him holding the cupcake, but I don't know if I'm gonna have a reference picture for that, so I'm just gonna make something up, like a nice fairy cupcake. He does have surprisingly thin arms for a fluffy guy. Now let's give him more of a Bibble shape. Bibble is rocking the mohawk. There are certain things you only notice about a character once you draw them for the first time. And now I will never see Bibble the same because I will always be thinking about his fluffy little mohawk. And he does have what I guess are ears. Yes. Yes. I know this doesn't look like a lot right now, but it will look marvelous once we are finished. I will draw him holding the cupcake just because every time I watched the third Fairytopia movie, he would get that cupcake, and I would always, like every time without fail, think to myself, damn, I wish I had that cupcake. Some things never change. So now Bibble is living my dreams. Fluff, 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 fluff. Yeah. And let me sketch out some wings too before I forget to. There was one time on Twitter where I asked people for drawing prompts because I was waiting for a video to render basically. And somebody asked me to draw Vidya, and I was so happy because I love Vidya. And then once like I completed the drawing, I took a picture of it, I posted it online, and only then I realized I had forgotten to draw her wings. So now there's a wingless Vidya floating around somewhere. And by somewhere I mean my Twitter. But let's not make the same mistake again and give Bibble some nice wings. Or only one, because the other one would be hidden behind him. Is it a good idea to eat a cupcake like as a reward for losing a tooth? Because when I lost my teeth, like I would just, you know, you keep running your tongue through the hole like you do. And it's not nice to eat something right after you lose a tooth. So I would just prefer cash. Call up the Fairytopia Tooth Fairy and ask her to bring some cash. Video, but it's Maleficent. Oh man. I'm thinking of like a very specific expression for our Bibble. Should he be looking at the cupcake? I envision him looking to the other side, but let's put him looking at the cupcake and he's just having a good time. Yes. Yes. Let's make him a different color. Because again, I liked the color that I was using before. See, Bibble would be a tricky one to use the paint bucket with because I am just going to floof him up and his line art is going to be full of holes. And then I'm gonna have to color that. I'm just making life harder for myself. But that's what life and art is all about. You create problems on purpose. Then you go ahead and you solve those problems. Let's give him some skinny little arms. I don't want to give him a lot of fingers. I know he has them, but no, not today. And here's a cupcake. Let's give it some more detail. Even if the cupcake in the movie doesn't look like this is the new canon now. Nice swooping floof down here. Does Bibble have a tail? It doesn't look like he has a tail, but all of the pictures that I'm seeing, when I Google Bibble, he's always just facing the front. He looks like the kind of guy that would have a tail. I guess if I'm drawing him from this angle, I don't have to be worried about that art-wise. However, I am worried about that in a general sense. How can I live without this information? No, he doesn't. Thank you for the confirmation, people. I can sleep in peace now, knowing that I don't have to worry about Bibble's tail. Watch me struggle 500 times to draw a foot that looks symmetrical. I've been watching this show on Netflix called Glow Up, and it's like a makeup competition. And the one thing that the makeup artists, like, they always seem to struggle with at some point during the competition is symmetry. And then the judges get to be all like, you see, they're British, but I can't do a British accent. You see, this makeup is amazing. However, you really struggled with the symmetry here. And then they point it out and you're like, oh my God, those eyes are totally asymmetrical. And I just keep thinking about how every artist, one way or another, struggles with drawing the other eye. Or in this case, the other foot. Let's floof up his low mullet. I think I made it too floofy. I know Bibble doesn't have a fluff limit, but come on, guys. We gotta have some semblance of self-control here. Yes, I like it better now. All right. Whoop. The cupcake's purple, and I'm not sure it's going to work with this color of the line art, but we can just change that. Now to draw a butterfly. There was a butterfly on top of the cupcake in my head. But maybe at this point, it's just the dream of a cupcake. Does it even exist? And does that even matter? Yeah. All right. Now let's give him some beautiful lines. This expression that I have in, like, that I'm trying to replicate here. Do you people use WhatsApp? I'm just outing myself as a Brazilian here. There is a sticker on WhatsApp that's just like an image you can send to your friends. I don't know how much of it I have to explain. But there's a sticker of Bibble in it. And it's just him. Like, the pack itself is in Spanish. And he's just looking at the camera with this exact expression. And it says, Hola, amor, which means hello, love. And I think about that sticker every day. I don't have a lot of people that I can send it to, but he lives in my mind. So now he's just making that exact expression at a cupcake. Because sometimes the real love of our lives is just a cupcake that you get in exchange for your tooth. Yes. All right. Look at him. Can't. I wasn't expecting him to turn out this perfect. I love him. Is this a good color for his fur? I think so. I think I'm gonna go with it. If it's not, I'll just toggle it later. I will provide you with the Bivel sticker. Everyone in Italy uses WhatsApp. That's good. We're not alone. Brazilians actually laugh like a key smash. Well, that's me laughing. Inside and outside of the internet. If you ever need a stereotype for a Brazilian person, use me. I will allow it. I guess I'm going to be a very skewed result, but I am still, after all, bad. I like it when the paintbrush goes a little bit outside of the line art, just because it helps him look fluffier, just because this is my fluffy brush. So let's give him that edge. I guess a smart person would outline all of this incomplete line art, and then they would use the paint bucket to fill in the rest. And I'm on a bit of a learning curve here. So I think I'm going to try to do that. So let's just go over these fluffs. Over this one over here. Ah, but then it doesn't work with the wing, so okay. It's going to be less fluffy exactly on the wing area. Close it off here, and let's use the paint bucket. It worked. What? Is this how people live? Is this how people live drawing digitally? It's not like I was gonna die by coloring it in manually. But wow, shortcuts exist for a reason. In my mind, I'm just like, if you have a traditional art mindset, there are no shortcuts. You can't just paint bucket your way through life, you know. So I'm here like, art needs, it demands, that's the word. Art demands suffering and time and energy. So when I do something on a computer and I'm like, that is so much easier than on paper, it feels like I'm cheating almost. But drawing on paper is just so much more natural. I don't know. Back in my MS Paint days, I was a digital gal. But I can't really say that I knew how to draw digitally because, again, I was using MS Paint. I was a very good MS Paint artist, but you know. But I just think it's funny how, like, there was a time in my life when given the choice between digital and traditional art, I would have chosen traditional. I mean, I would have chosen digital in the past, and now I am 100% traditional. Except for internet stuff, I guess. I contain multitudes. Alright, what kind of pink goes with this blue? Hmm. Yes. Bibble has a very trans rights palette if you think about it. Maybe I'm just making him more pastel on purpose. He is a bit more purpley in the reference picture. I'm gonna go with this one. So let's put this layer down here for the feet. But when the feet are against the white of the page, what's the name of this? The canvas. They look too purple. Or maybe I am just expecting him to look pink. I should stop imposing my own expectations on our beautiful Bibble. And even in the reference picture, like, is this, like, are his feet supposed to be that purple or is it just shading? I think they are purple. I think I'm gonna leave him like this. However, his belly fur, I'm going to make it a little bit more pink just because I like it. Let's go all the way up here and figure out how his mullet's gonna look. You can't say Bibble without Vi. Do you teach traditional or digital art? Lord, no. I don't teach any kind of art, and I'm just here for the lols. Where did that come from? I there are better people out there to teach art stuff. I'm just here like I'm just sitting here, bro. Like I had a friend message me once like, "Hey, I would like to commission you." And I was like I just froze because that's just so unfathomable. Like, I don't know, out of all of my hobbies, I feel like I shouldn't monetize art. And I was like, nope, do not commission me. I'm going to draw that thing for free. And then what happened was I forgot to draw it. She forgave me because she's very nice. And I will draw the thing eventually and redeem myself. But no, I don't teach anything. I don't do things. I am just. What I do teach is English. That doesn't have a lot to do with art. I draw stars while I'm waiting for my students just because, well, they are 12 and they get very impressed when a teacher draws a star on a digital board. They are also impressed at the fact that I know what memes are. And it feels funny to go like, oh, I teach English when I'm, existing online. Because I exist in English online, and I guess I also exist in English at my school. Ah, the duality of language. No, don't make a line. Well, don't worry, Serenity Venus. Like, I'm not mad at anything. Yeah, I misinterpreted your question. That one's on me. Uh, Not misinterpreted. What's I guess misread? It's misinterpreted, but not maliciously. My brain is not good. Brain bad. But yeah, English is the stuff that I teach, and I could also teach Portuguese, but I'm currently not working as a Portuguese teacher. Yes. And there we go. I think I should make his mullet just a little bit more saturated. Hmm. Nice. Nice. All right. The more I think about it, who designed Bibble? Because you look at him and he's not the first thing that I would think of if I thought like marketable pet. Not to diminish his presence in the Fairytopia franchise, but you know, he's just a fluffy little dude, and he is not the first thing that I think of when I envision a fluffy little dude. And I guess the later Barbie movies leaned into my sensibilities more with like their later releases, because if you look at like Fairytopia, you have your Bibbles, and then if you look at something like Mariposa, you have just a very cute, sparkly bunny. I should make the cupcake by losing my train of thought here. So Bibble is like just remarkable as a design choice, I think. And he does have his fair amount of merch. I didn't own any of it as a kid. I mean, if we're talking about Barbie movies, then the thing that I wanted to own is the Barbies and not necessarily their sidekicks or accessories and stuff. However, some lucky kids out there had like Bibble plushes because he is, despite, you know, being a special boy, despite looking the way he does, he's just, and like the plushes don't look the way he does. I'm thinking way too hard about this. But in that sense, there's such a fascinating magic to the original designs in like the older Barbie films because they're not as markable as you might think. Especially when compared to what we consider marketable nowadays or like with the later releases. Let's make this lighter. You know what? I'm gonna color the entire cupcake like this, and then I'm gonna lock a layer on top of it, and then I'm gonna make it a bi cupcake. This is officially my canon. This is no longer the cupcake that he holds in the movie. Well, it is, but with like a cooler paint job. Let me get a new reference for this. I just had Bionicles and Legos. That was pretty boring. Legos are life, okay? To this day, I like put on some background noise and I just make stuff with Legos and it feels so nice. You don't have to give up the stuff that makes you happy. Keep your Bionicles, keep your Legos. Legos are good. The Bibble page is inaccessible. Somebody is trying to stop us from figuring out the truth. All right, so let's work on a nice gradient here. Don't know if that's how frosting would work. Also, wow, this pink is very bright. Being very careful for somebody who has like the locked layer. Should the entire cupcake be like double bi? I think so. Both the cupcake and the wrapper are going to have a flag going on. Or I make the cupcake pink and then the wrapper is the rest of the gradient. Let's see if that works. Maybe I will make the cupcake a little bit purple too. Let's make this pink burn my eyes a little less. Yes, okay. Is it the same? I don't know, I like it more now. No, it's not, because I just selected it and it moved the thingy there. The wrapper's already purple as like the sketch. Let's just give it a nice purpler purple. And now a nice blue. It's not following the proportions of the bi flag, but I am following my own sense of cupcake wrapping design. Now let's make the blue just a little more blue. I like that. Yes. Yes, the more I paint this cupcake, the more I want to eat it. Even more than the original movie cupcake, because this one's better, obviously, because it's by. If somebody can think of a good pun with by and cupcake, I'm all ears. I guess I just thought of the two worst words to match up as one. Yes. Like if I saw this wrapper for a cupcake in a store, I would take a picture of it and send it to all of my friends and be like, haha, buy cupcakes. And then I would also make cupcakes in it. Is this a bad stereotype? I don't mean to reduce people to just like, rainbow capitalism is bad, okay? I'm not encouraging companies to make products like this. If there are any companies watching, I will not fall for your schemes, but I totally will fall for them. Is this how layers work? Who knows? Just gonna give it like a little bit of shading in purple. It feels like I'm focusing a lot on the cupcake and I am neglecting Bibble, but I will go back to the Bibble shortly. I just got excited about this cupcake. That's not how shading works, but we're gonna make it work. All right. Yes. Yes, let's add one more layer because we clearly don't have enough layers stacked on top of this cupcake. And I'm going to make this butterfly a statement. It feels very in brand for Barbie to have a cupcake like this, even because Barbie loves, like as a franchise, they sure love to give the bi flag as a color scheme to a lot of the side characters. And just a tiny hint of pink. And there we have it, the most beautiful cupcake in all of the land. Now back to the star of the show, Bibble, after a quick check on it. Okay, yes, we are anti-corporation in this house. But you are not immune to products that appeal to your specific aesthetic. Which, you should be aware of marketing schemes and stuff like that, but sometimes you just want to make your own by cupcake wrappers. How do I create good floofs for this boy? Like good spots on his fur. I think I chose a very complicated place to start. Let's just go nice and slow here on his tummy. I am getting somewhere. I feel like I start to ramble, you know, when I'm drawing things like this because I'm focusing on two things at the same time. There's the art, and then there is the whatever that's coming out of my mouth right now. So if I say something that is bad, I apologize in advance. Will I have to make an apology video for this stream? Oh, Jesus. I am. I should better stop talking now. Let's create a clipping mask. Is that what it's called? Is it a clipping mask? Am I creating too many spots on the boy? No, I think it's just spotty like this. Floof, floof, floof. Yes, I like where this is going. Let's make the spot up here. He has less spots than this, I think, in the movie just because they're bigger, I guess. But again, this is my canon now, my city now. Ah, no. Sometimes they create a line and I get scared. One more spot here. Let's make a tiny spot there. I don't like this spot specifically. Goodbye. Look at that boy. Now let's create a new layer and add some texture. Some texture to the texture. Is this too much? I don't know. If it is, I will just delete the layer. This blob right here, like this spot, the first one that I drew, it's my favorite. The other ones don't really look like it, and I don't know how to replicate it. And that's why I would also fail as a makeup artist. So much of makeup I have learned through watching Glow Up on Netflix is about replicating other people's looks. Girl, I can't even replicate the art style of Anastasia. I can't even replicate my own art style when I make a blob and then I am unable to make the same blob again. Floof, floof, floof. What is going on in the chat? Bye, bestie. Bye. What are your thoughts on Over the Hedge? I like it. I haven't seen it in a very long time, to be honest. But I remember as a kid I really liked it. Like, to be fair, my most prominent memory of Over the Hedge is how one time I downloaded the film just because I wanted to see what song played in the credits. And then, when I got to the credits, I realized that I was thinking of a different movie, so it wasn't even there. And then I kept the file of Over the Hedge because I thought, hey, what if one day I want to actually watch Over the Hedge? I had better keep this file right here. If there are any corporations listening, no, I never downloaded any files. No, what are you talking about? Piracy? Me? No, never. But anyway, I kept the file because what if I wanted to watch Over the Hedge again? And then every time I wanted to watch Over the Hedge, I remembered, I have that file that I downloaded for a completely different reason. This has nothing to do with the movie. That movie actually became a meme in my house, now that I think about it, because there's that squirrel. I don't remember anyone's names because it's been a long time since I watched that movie. But there was that squirrel that, well, you know, he's there. Was one of the animals voiced by Steve Carell? Or am I tripping? And that squirrel, at some point, he eats a cookie. And like the raccoon, was he a raccoon? I don't remember. I should watch that movie again. The raccoon is like, hey, do you like the cookie? And the squirrel just replies, I like the cookie, in like a really soft voice. And we reference that all the time in my house. And we referenced it so much that I forgot that that's where it came from. So thank you for reminding me of that. And every time we like something, really like a food in my house, we are going to quote that squirrel in his soft voice saying that. All right. Will I ever, there was a question here, like, will I ever make a video on Cats Don't Dance? I don't know, but I really like that movie. I think it's a nice movie. It took a while, like it grew on me, because I saw it once as a kid and I didn't really get what the hype was all about. I guess it's because it aired all the time on Cartoon Network and I just like didn't get it. Where's my Winx Club? Why are you showing me this cat movie? But then when I learned to like things and I sat down and I watched the film, it was such a good time and it's got really nice animation. So maybe someday I'll make a video on it because it has a special place in my heart. It's good. Thing good. The bit where Hammy the squirrel, okay, Hammy has a name. Hammy the squirrel drinks Red Bull and stops time. Yes. And actually, around the same time Over the Hedge came out, I don't know if it was a coincidence everywhere, but I watched Over the Hedge around the same time that I watched Hoodwinked. And those movies kind of occupy the same space in my brain. And on Hoodwinked, there's also a joke where a squirrel character drinks, I think he drinks coffee in Hoodwinked, and goes so fast that he doesn't really stop time, but like he goes really fast and he does special things because he's going super fast. It's like an Over the Hedge, he drinks Red Bull and he's super fast and he's also a squirrel. And me and my family, we kept wondering, like, hey, is this like a Ants versus Bugs Life thing? Is this a studio copying the other? Is there a sordid story behind it? And of course, we never found out the answer. These sparklies in the wing are not working. But yeah, Over the Hedge and Hoodwinked ended up living within the same drawer in my brain files. Probably because of the squirrel. You can only have one movie where a squirrel is fast. Otherwise, my poor brain gets confused. I like the sparklies, but I don't like this particular one. I got a question, if it hasn't been already answered. Do you read books? If so, what genre of what is your favorite? I love classics. Classics are good. I read a lot of classics because of college. And people should give classics more credit, more credit. They are classics for a reason. Do I read books? That seems like a simple question, but it has a complicated answer because I haven't been reading much lately, which is bad and I should get back into reading things. But I love books and I don't know if I have a favorite genre of book. I like books that are good. What is a good book, you might ask? Well, you just have to search your heart. You know what the answer is. One of my favorite books is House of Leaves. I love it so much. Of course, I should read it again because I read it a long time ago. And when I did read it, it was just, wow, it changed me. I say this half ironically. It was a really good book and it impacted me. And I am also a fan of A Series of Unfortunate Events. But I'm just quoting like miserable books here. I guess I like books that have adventure. That's so vague. I like books. I should think about a better answer for this one. Nobody remembers Robot Jones. Robot Jones lives in my mind, but that's just because of all the lost media stuff surrounding it. I Lost media is one of like my very niche interests, and Robot Jones has like a lost media story, so I am aware of it mostly because of its lost media origins. Let's add some texture to the background of the bib. Mm-hmm. Now we make it soft, maybe too soft. And now we find a nice color for it. Ooh, ooh, this peachy color is looking really nice. Good. And now we go back and we give some, where's my fluffy brush? There it is. We give some nice transparent gradient thing to the wing. Clean that edge up just a little bit. I'm not too worried about it. And there we have it, our Lord and Savior. Again, I'm gonna use my life hack of just taking a screenshot so that I don't have to think. Every time I try to take a screenshot on Fire Alpaca, my mouse does a weird thing, and I keep trying to circumvent it. It seems to have worked. Here's a screenshot. Let's take a bigger one. I will be posting like the screenshots of the art once the stream is done, so people can actually have it. You know, you don't have to be worried about this becoming lost media. Do you have any interest, or do you have any experience with STEM fields? Oh, I have nothing against them, I guess. STEM is good. I was not cut out for it, I don't think. I am a humanities person. But STEM is good. I guess I never thought about pursuing it. My sister was the wall in Midsummer's Midsummer's Night Dream, and she hated every minute of it. That's great. Hashtag deep Bibble, man. House of Leaves is a must-read for YouTubers? Really? I actually once saw one YouTuber talking about it, and I don't remember who the YouTuber was. It was like Austin something, and then I deleted it from my brain because he made a video on how Gilmore Girls was bad, and I don't agree with it, and I don't need that kind of thing in my life. I like Gilmore Girls. And I like House of Leaves. I don't know a lot of people who read House of Leaves in this life. One of the people that I know who read it, who owns a copy of the book, I should say, is a guy that is kind of a jerk. And I'm like, no, why are you reading this book? This is my book. Only cool people can read House of Leaves. I want to get to another request from Twitter, which I have never drawn before, but I think it's going to be cute. I was requested Sam and Frodo from Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna try to draw them all. I'm gonna try to do them justice. After Bibble, I'm feeling confident. You know, Bibble has blessed me, and I'm like, I get art. So let's get a nice reference picture of the boys. Let's just jump right into it. So I guess I'm gonna have a ground. And they are creatures of nature, right? Let's give them like a rock to sit on so they can be chilling together. Let's give them like a log also. This is going to be my log. And I want to draw them just having a good time together. I have never drawn a hobbit before, and I'm gonna draw it in like a kind of a cutesy style. So let's just hope that this turns out fine. But I was looking forward to drawing this one. I wondered if I was going to have enough courage to do it on the stream. But like I said, man, Bibble has blessed me. I'm gonna leave Frodo on the rock and Sam on the log. I didn't read the Lord of the Rings books. It's been on my list even because like a lot of people have recommended them to me, and I am friends with a lot of Lord of the Rings fans. But I did watch all the movies quite recently even. Quick, name an underused word. I can only think of words that are terribly overused, especially by me. Every Pokemon is loved by at least someone. That's very cute. What is my favorite book or movie from the Lotter trilogy? I say Lotter in my head. But I think that when people read the acronym, they are smart and they just say Lord of the Rings. But my brain is just here like Lotter. So my favorite book or movie, I think I'm gonna go, like I haven't read the books, but for a movie, I think I'm gonna go with the first one just because the beginning is so sweet. I love the Shire. I love everybody having a good time. It's just good vibes all around. I'm gonna flip this, I think. And then when like they form the fellowship and they are thinking like how are we going to deal with this problem? We gotta do something about it. Uh, and they are like stepping up to the challenge, you know, and you have the meme of, you know, oh, you have this thing and my axe. It's just such a sweet moment. So I am a fan of that. I tried to start the Fellowship of the Ring and I just couldn't get through it. I really couldn't handle the over descriptive writing style. Yeah, that's a thing that I will deal with when I get to it. I've read The Hobbit, but I haven't seen the third movie yet. Mostly because I know who's going to die. Did you see that one joke interview with Elijah Wood? I'm not entirely sure of what that interview is, so I guess no. What do you think of Smog or Smaug? I don't really know how to say it. He's good. he's a fiery boy. I haven't watched the Hobbit movies in a long time, you know. I watched them when they came out, and I don't even think I finished the trilogy when I stopped to think about it. I think I just kind of watched 1 and 2. So Smaug is good. He's just a dragon, just a big lizard. Voiced by Bernadil Cucumber Patch. Is that why people love it? No, I think I'm gonna draw. I really want this to turn out good. So it means I have to think about what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm gonna draw him kind of like leaning forward, just kind of like with his hands on his knees. This looks very messy, but I promise it's going to turn into something eventually. He's a little bit taller. Who is the tallest of the two? In my head, Frodo is taller by like a fraction of an inch. Just because Sam is small and I love him. Just put him just a little bit down here. There we go. And I will make the head a little bit bigger. Yeah. Am I even allowed to draw the boys? If I haven't read the Sam Frodo fan fiction written by Molly Knox, who knows? I'll get to it eventually. Mandatory literature. Sherlock did Smaug. Yes, didn't he do it? Now I'm questioning my own report here. In my head, he did voice Smaug. So do you take requests here? I do, but people requested a lot of stuff and I am drawing slower than I imagined. So yes, I do. You can request things and maybe I'll get to it. You can honestly skip part 3. That does make my heart rest at ease. Google says Frodo is 5'5" and Sam is 5'6". Sam is just a tiny bit taller. Oh my god. Have you seen the behind the scenes footage of Smaug being mocapped by Benedict? No, that sounds like a good time. Good, so Benedict has been confirmed as our dragon boy. And also the Grinch, right? Every time I remember that Benedict was the Grinch, I feel like I'm having a stroke. What is this real life? So he's gonna have one hand here and one hand here because they're chatting, because they're just having a good time. Suffering here? No, these boys are being soft. All right, so this is our messy sketch. Now let's try to turn them into something. Do hobbits have like normal ears? Or do they have like, yeah, this reference picture has them as people with normal ears. How am I gonna draw the ears though? I don't know. I should have seen more Lord of the Rings fan art in preparation for this drawing, because I don't know how people tend to draw the boys. And I am afraid that my interpretation is going to be incomprehensible. I am going to give them their traveling clothes just because I like them. Let's not forget Benedict in the Penguins of Madagascar movie. That is a movie that flew just completely over my head. I should check it out. Not as pointy as elf ears, but somewhat pointy. Oh, that's good to know. Thank you. So let's give them tiny pointy ears, like the ears in the Owl House. Sam is going to have more of like poofy hair because he's a good boy. Here we have a nice cozy sweater. Yeah, thinking about it, I guess 5 foot something would be tall for a hobbit, but I just assumed that literally everything else in the universe was taller than them. So like, what's the point of being 5 foot something if all of your friends are like 7 foot something, you know? But yeah, maybe that is as tall as the actors are. In which case, Sam's actor is pretty short. Elijah Wood looks short, but Sam's actor, I don't remember his name, but he was in other things, and on the other things, I don't remember him being tiny. Or at least like shorter than the rest of the people. I can't believe this is coming together. I hope I'm doing them justice. Do they look too tall? Maybe I should make... But if I make the head smaller, he's going to look tall. So I'm going to make the body just a tiny bit bigger. This is just a sketch anyway. I can mess up the selection tool. Ah. No, I don't like that. I'm just gonna make it wider. Wider works. Good. Did you know that there's a prehistoric species of human that were so small they were nicknamed hobbits? I'm very glad that that's a thing that exists. Oh, thank you, Charles, for saying that my voice is nice. Thank you. That is my voice. And I'm sure saying some words. Okay, now let's make another good boy. Is this hair working? I like where this is going. Yeah. Yeah. Frodo has like a fancier coat even, at least in the reference picture that I'm using. But I would totally have this coat. But to be fair, hobbits have like such a great sense of fashion, you know? They are cozy in a almost professor kind of way. You know, like a I don't want to say academia aesthetic because don't want the internet to think I'm misrepresenting Lord of the Rings. But can't you just imagine like a nice old near retirement college professor walking around with like Frodo's coat? The pants are too long. I gotta make them sluttier. There we go. Show some ankles, boys. That's one part of Hobbit fashion that I do not like. I don't want to walk around in capris. They don't even have to be capris because of the feet, you know? Let's just have flare pants. That's what I would wear if I were a hobbit. I would just wear flare pants. There we go. Legs. Now let's get that rock going again. It's making some rocky lines. That's a rock. Thank you, Cookie Witch Trin. I am glad that I bring you happiness. It's almost cottagecore in a way. Yes, hobbits are very cottagecore. How many times haven't I... Like, there's this company that claims that they can make hobbit houses, and I don't know if they're real, but me and my friends, we keep looking at their website and just fantasizing about the house that we could have. Just like a nice hobbit house somewhere. And we could be cottagecore and just chill. That's what it comes down to. We just want to be chillin'. Okay, now I'm gonna draw a face. Watch out, everybody. They're just gonna have like cute little eyes. I'm not gonna make it too detailed. Let's give them a nice nose. He looks so cute. I love him. Ah, why am I not drawing hobbits all the time? They're just some boys. Let's bring this a little bit closer. I love my boys. I think I'm gonna fix Frodo's eyes a little bit, just bring them closer to like the side. Perfect. Good boys. And now around them, I'll just get a circle for reference, and I'm gonna draw like some grass and stuff. I love drawing plants as sketches because it just makes some squiggles and there you got a bush. And then when it comes to the line art, you have to actually think about what you are doing. They're just sitting there. Gonna fix Frodo's head just a tiny bit. There. Thank you for the love for the boys here. I learned from Pinterest that Frodo has better Elvish than Legolas because he learned from a book with proper grammar, while Legolas has a bad accent. I haven't even read the books, but I love seeing Lord of the Rings posts on the internet because people are coming up with theories and headcanons, and I guess that if you read the book, they make sense. So I just assume that they hold some truth to them, and they are always like just top-notch, hilarious content. I consume Lord of the Rings from the outlines, not diving in directly just yet, but I do love me a post. It's line art time. Let's just follow the sketch and everything will turn out fine. Yeah, one thing that I want to figure out, if I do stream a second time, which is a possibility, but I'm gonna give you guys a break from my constant rambling first. If I do stream again, I want to figure out a way to make the chat appear in my screen as I am doing things, so I don't have to keep switching windows. But one step at a time, First, we survive this, and then we think about the future. But I do have to pause sometimes just to see what's happening. Have you seen Wolfwalkers? I have, and I love it. It's really, really good. I thought about making a video for it, but like if I were to make it, my point would just be it's really good, I love it, and it's really good. I don't know how interesting of a video that would be. And then I feel like I kind of like missed the mark a little bit. But I am interested in exploring other movies from the same studios. like Secret of Kells was just such a movie for me. You know, it was important. Personally, I guess, like, I don't know, I was like, there are some movies that exist in a sweet spot when I gained enough mastery of the internet to like figure out how you can watch movies online, and I had learned enough English to understand what's going on in movies. And Secret of Kells came up just when I was like starting to enter that world. So it has such a special place in my heart and I love it so much. And the studio has yet to, there's a better way of saying this. The studio has not disappointed me, and Wolfwalkers is just another great movie and I love it. So yeah, go watch Wolfwalkers if you haven't, because it's good. If you stream more, can you stream a little earlier? It's very late for me right now. Yes, but it's hard to find a time that is going to work for everyone in every place of the world. But yes, I can think of like different times, because I know that there are some folks who couldn't come to this one. And even figuring out how time works is so hard. Like, what is mountain time? I don't know. Where are the mountains? This hen's too skinny. That's better. But it's because the sleeve is a little bit wonky. So yes, first I learn geography and I figure out how time zones work, and then I can think of like more times. Have you watched Hilda? No, I haven't watched Hilda already. It's been on my list for a while. It looks really cute and I've heard such wonderful things about it. I'm glad that it's still going. You know, it's nice to see shows thriving. So yeah, I will check out Hilda sometime. Feet are so hard to draw and they are so important here. I can't just like cheat and not draw the feet of a hobbit. I'm going to give them just 4 toes because I gave them 4 fingers. That's how art works. Like how sometimes my sprite has 4 fingers and sometimes she has 5 fingers. That's also something that I think about fixing. I didn't like the 4-toe look, so now they have 5. But does that work? I think I'm just having a hard time conceptualizing this because their feet are supposed to be big. It's not an art mistake, it's how it works. So now I can be at peace with it. And we have a foot. Wow. Have you watched any anime? Yes, I have. I have watched anime in my lifetime. My favorite anime is Free. And I have seen other things. I remember I had a really good time watching Kisniver when it was coming out. That one stayed with me a little bit too. I think the last anime that I watched was Wonder Egg Priority, which should have concluded by now? Maybe? Because I remember they still had to like air the last special episode to actually explain what was going on, and I completely forgot about it. So maybe it's out. I should check that out later. But I also haven't been following as much anime as I would like. I miss following a thing, you know, like a show, having something to look forward to media-wise. I'm following the Owl House, but that's that's not an anime. Well, the special was kind of messy. Okay, well, The anime was kind of messy. Two of my friends are in school in animated art. One of them wants to work with Hilda Studio, and the other wants to work with Wolfwalker Studio. Good studios, I think. Like, if I had to pick a studio, those are looking pretty good. I wouldn't pick a studio because I can't replicate other art styles. Ugh, no, this hair is too limpy. See, I'm struggling. Like, my struggle isn't to draw the other eye, it's to draw the other hair. I like it. I'm gonna stick with it. Here we have a sleeve. Here we have another sleeve. Here we have a thing. And here we have another thing. And a little shirt. This shoulder doesn't look good. Yes. Do you intend to record a video about Avatar anytime? If it is about like Avatar The Last Airbender, there is a video that I wanted to make. But like a while ago, sometime along last year, or I don't even think it was last year, I think it was 2019 actually. But there was a time when Avatar videos were just everywhere. Everyone was making a video on Avatar The Last Airbender. And I thought about it, and it would also be an excuse to rewatch Avatar The Last Airbender, which is always a good time, in my opinion. And then I feel like I missed the mark a little bit, and by the time that I actually thought, hey, let's, sit down and do the thing, YouTube had kind of moved on from Avatar. And that discouraged me a little bit. But it is a thing that I would like to tackle sometime. And it will sound kind of cliche to say, like, oh, Avatar means so much to me, I love it so much, wow, it was such a huge part of my life. But yes, Avatar means a lot to me, I love it so much, it was such a huge part of my life. And I have feelings about it, and I have thoughts. Which is another danger, because like, hey, I have ideas that I believe are original. However, a lot of people really like Avatar The Last Airbender. So what if the things that I believe to be like, new and original and wow, this is adding something to the conversation. What if other people have been saying this for a long time and I'm just unaware? And I will continue to be unaware, because then I don't want to watch things that will like influence my own video. Like, I don't want to plagiarize people by accident. There's a name for that. But I don't want to do it. So I avoid watching video essays and stuff on movies and shows that I know I am about to review pretty soon. So, in conclusion, someday I plan on making an Avatar The Last Airbender video, and I don't know when that day is gonna come. Rock time. I see a bunch of people making a video about something. I will pass on it. Yeah, you can get kind of tired of like everyone talking about the same thing. Have you ever seen Over the Garden Wall? Yes, I thought about making a video about it. I still have to organize my thoughts in a way that is better than just, I love it so much, it's so good that I love it. There are things that like I love, and I haven't made a video about it because I have to structure my thoughts in a way that is cohesive and actually interesting to watch. Or like at least informative, I just don't want to ramble for 20 minutes about how much I love a thing. I want to at least say something interesting about it, like something that I feel is adding to the conversation surrounding it. Just horror too. Sometimes, someday I might get to it. I have finished watching Avatar recently, and you have this feeling of, oh my god, I need more. Every time I rewatch Avatar and then I rewatch Korra, that's the feeling that I'm left with. I just want to watch more Avatar The Last Airbender. The classic YouTuber bylaw of reviewer dibs. Yeah, there is like a feeling of I want to be the first person to make a video on it, and also if more people are making a video on it, then it's going to have a bigger chance of doing well? Question mark? Who knows how the algorithm works? Someday. That's what I tell myself. There is one video that I think about making, and like, if anyone does it before me, I'm gonna punch them. Is Over the Garden Wall gay? That's the question. That is the question. I think you have to search your heart, search your feelings, you know it to be true. Are the ears... Frodo's ear is positioned a little bit higher than Sam's, so I guess I'm gonna fix Sam's ear. I don't know, I liked it where it was before. I think I'm just gonna leave it like this because I also like Frodo's ear there. Maybe I should... No, I like it. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Give him a little shirt. This shoulder, I think, is a little bit too broad. Let's just increase the poofiness of the sleeve. Maybe that will fix it. I like it. Would you ever do a video on Cyber 6? Cyber 6? What is that? Is that the one with the lady with the cool hair? Because when I read Cyber 6, I think of yes, Cyber 6. I actually wanted to check out Cyber 6. I think Adam from YMS mentioned it in a video. And he talks about like how cool the opening theme is, and it totally slaps. And I've been meaning to check out Cyber 6 because the opening theme is just so good. But when you say Cyber 6, my first thought is Cyber Chase, which is a completely different show, which I used to watch as a kid. When the ear connects to the head and an adult lightens up with the eyes. Yeah, like proportionately it makes sense, right? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should fix it. Have I played any games? I have played a game in my lifetime. Lately, I've been in a bit of a Lego Star Wars mood. I don't know if people noticed that about my Twitter. But I have been playing Lego Star Wars. I wasn't a gamer kid, so I'm having like my gamer moment now as I play games for the first time. Like PS2 games. Imagine that, having a console as a child? Preposterous. I only have a Nintendo DS that I borrowed from my sister. So I am playing a game now. I played Lego Star Wars. I played A Dog's Life, which is really fun. And I feel like I am very behind on what games people are playing because I am playing PS2 games. And they are great. PS2 is the greatest console ever. There, I said it. But I have also played other games, like Undertale is a game, and I have played it. What What other games do people play? I played IB. That was a while ago. Like the internet was really into IB and I played it and it was really good. I did buy Omori. It was on sale on Steam, so I bought it, but I haven't played it yet. Did you know about Kiwi and the Amazing Fox? No, I did not. I am Googling it right now. Kiwi and the Amazing Fox? Okay, thought it was a cartoon. Apparently, it's not. Well, thank you, Transformers 2002, for the love. I love my boys. PS2 had Netflix in Brazil, and that's such a good thing to me. Yes, it is. I remember that fact. Like, Netflix had to arrange a streaming like service deal with PS2 because Brazilians didn't have like it was very easy for us to access it through PS2 and I just love that fact so much. I didn't even have a PS2. I had to access Netflix through my Wii. That's the console that I had. I played Mario Kart. Completely forgot about it. You might like Stardew Valley. Yes, that's a game that I play. Stardew Valley. I have been playing it more lately because I'm technically on vacation. So Stardew Valley, I play it a lot for like a week straight, and then I leave it alone for like 6 months, and then when I come back to it, I just play it for hours on end again. So I am on a bit of a Stardew Valley phase. But that's just because I want to do like one specific challenge in Stardew Valley, and it shows up at random and it's not showing up for me. So I'm just sleeping through season after season, waiting for the opportunity to play the challenge. And in the meantime, I am, farming diamonds. I'm on like year 9 or something, so. Like, I could make another farm and start, get a fresh start and conquer things again, do things, but I like my farm. I like having just a nice time with a farm that is already well established. Has anyone ever seen the movie Daisy and the Hen? It's about a chicken that has released herself into the wild and raises a duck as a child. Very tragic. Sounds cute. Apparently it's tragic, but I should check that out later. Who is your favorite bachelor or bachelorette? I love Penny. She is the one that I married. She's beautiful, and she is my wife, and I love her. And it feels kind of cheating because, oh, you just went for the teacher NPC. Yes, I did. What of it? I love her. All of the girls have such good personalities. I love all of the Stardew Valley girls. The boys, they lack a little bit in that regard. But from the male bachelors, I like Harvey. He's a good boy. And I like Shane. Those are my favorite ones. If you want to get spicy, you can go for Elliot. But he's just a tiny bit too romantic for me. Another thing, like I could start a new game just to marry someone new, but I just love Penny so much, My avatar isn't even exactly me, but I like what I have in Stardew Valley. I had nightmares about Chicken Little when I was a kid. I can see where that is coming from. Chicken Little is another movie that I think about revisiting from time to time. These pants are way too light. Should I make every piece of clothing in a different folder? But then I'm gonna have to name my folders or we're gonna get lost. Okay. This is Sam's jacket. Let's be organized. Let's name things. No. Good. So now I'm gonna toggle with the pants a little bit. There we go, that's better. Sam's pants. Frodo's jacket in the reference picture that I'm using is a very nice wine red burgundy color. What is burgundy anyway? Well, in any case, I want his jacket. And see if I can replicate it here. Don't want to make it too saturated. Is this gonna work? Oh, yes it did. I refuse to watch Chicken Little as an adult because everyone says it's really bad. In my nostalgia-tainted memory, it's the greatest piece of media ever created. You are valid. And I didn't make this a different layer. Gosh darn it. How do I do this? Can I cut this into a different layer? What I can do is copy it and paste it. Yeah, that works. I can't even say that, like, oh, Chicken Little is like the worst thing that was ever created because I honestly haven't seen it in a while. But the last time I saw it, I did realize that, yeah, maybe people say it's bad for a reason. But you know, if you like Chicken Little, I'm not gonna stop you. Because people are allowed to like things. This is way too dark. I don't want it to be darker than the line art. Yes. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Now for the pant. Somebody asked me if I had watched, is this working? Yes. If I had watched the Pokemon anime. No, but I did watch 2 movies. I watched the first movie, you know, when Ash turns to stone and everyone cries. And I did watch what I think is the 3rd movie. There's like 3 birds. I don't remember a lot about it. There's 3 birds and they're each like a legendary Pokemon, and then you have to play a flute, and the birds are gonna do something, and there's an evil man and he wants the birds. And yes, that's as far as my knowledge on the Pokemon movies slash anime slash shows go. But it was a good movie. I remember having a good time with it as a kid, but unfortunately I only saw it once. Everyone says that the movie with, like, I think it's the 4th movie, the one where Ash's mom is kidnapped, everyone says that that's the best one. So I am curious about it, because the internet wouldn't lie to me. That's the 2nd film. Okay, that's the film that I saw. Pokemon 2000. Yeah, something like that. I love Chicken Little, but I hated overshadowed way better movies just because it was 3D. Like, what was happening at the same time as Chicken Little was, well, happening? But yeah, there is like a bit of a hype factor to take into consideration when thinking about, I forgot to name all of my layers again. When thinking about animated movies. This is going to be Frodo's shirt. Is this spelled wrong? No, that's how I spell shirt. It is. What was... I completely lost the train of thought. Oh yes, animated movies that overshadow 2D animated movies, and that's, yeah. I can't even say that's bad because, well, I just wish we could love all animation. The more animation, the merrier, you know? I just wish that 2D had a bit of a revival. I miss 2D animation, and sometimes I come across a 2D animated movie that I somehow missed out on as a kid, or something new comes out, like Wolfwalkers. And it's just so beautiful, and it reminds me of just how nice 2D animation is. And I wish we could have more of that. Is this a good color for the shirt? I'm gonna go with it. Matches the reference picture anyway. Am I still valid if I only watched the fourth Spy Kids movie? You know what? I haven't watched any Spy Kids movies. So you are more valid than me, I would say. I did watch like bits and pieces of it. I just never sat down to watch an entire Spy Kids movie. And I know that I'm missing out on some great nostalgia flavors. But honestly, when I was a kid, my jam was Shark Boy and Lava Girl. So I never felt like I was missing out on anything. Okay, now for the hair. How do we color hair? Is this a good hair color? It's too blonde, I think. Let's mess around with it for a bit. Like, Sam has kind of a... I'm thinking about the actor. The actor, I have seen the actor rocking blonder hair. So I'm thinking like, oh, Sam has blonde hair because of the actor, but I don't even know if that's movie accurate. And even the reference picture that I'm using, it's like, reference is relative, you know? You can just pick whatever reference that suits your taste better. Wasn't the last 2D movie Princess and the Frog? The last 2D animated movie that Disney did, I think it was that. Either that, or there was like a Winnie the Pooh movie that came out at a similar time. And I can't recall which one came out first. But like, yeah, big scale movies, Princess and the Frog is usually regarded as the last. Which saddens me because we should be getting more of those. Like, I remember when, is it Enchanted? Well, in Portuguese, the translation would be Enchanted. I sure hope that the English name is Enchanted too. The one with Amy Adams, when that movie came out, oh, there was an opening there. When that movie came out, it starts off with like an animated fantasy world, you know, very very Disney fairy tale, very traditional, very everything we had seen from Disney so far. And it is a movie that tries to like satirize that kind of thing. So they animated it traditionally, and it was James Baxter animating it, I later come to learn. And I remember like just being in the movie theater, and I knew what I was in for because I had seen the trailers. I knew what Enchanted was going to be about. I knew that they were going to go to the quote-unquote real world eventually. But at the start of the movie, it was all 2D animated, and I remember just sitting there looking at just stunning animation. It was so fluid and colorful and vivid, and I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. And I just started dreading the rest of the movie because I knew that we would have to go to like the real world eventually, and then it wouldn't be 2D anymore. And I was sad because I couldn't watch an entire movie that was just the animated parts of Enchanted. And like as a kid, I remember watching it and thinking, wow, this is what Disney is capable of. They could make an entire movie that looks this good. And then they never did. And I am still kind of angry about that. Like, why haven't you? You have the skills, you have the money, you have the power. Why aren't you giving me what I want specifically? Disney, the multi-billion-dollar corporation, how dare you? Disney doesn't get it. So one day, if they do release a 2D animated movie again and it doesn't look as good as Enchanted, I'm going to personally go there and complain. Wait, you're Brazilian? Yes, plot twist, I am. 2D movies don't sell as well these days, and it's also a lot more expensive and hard to make. Yes, it is. That's true. Which just makes me sad on how, like, profit is the one thing driving art. Like, oh, why aren't we making 2D animated movies? Ah, because it's too expensive. Well, I wish we didn't have to live in a world where the only thing that matters is how much money your movie makes. Is that too much to ask? At Disney. Shark Boy and Lava Girl is a type of a movie you loved as a kid, but when you go back to it, you're like, this isn't how I remembered it. Yeah, well, I don't know. I have watched it after I was a kid. I have relatively recent memories of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and I'm like, yeah, well, it's not exactly a masterpiece like I remember it being as a kid, but it's not bad. I don't hold anything against it. I like it. It's just like a nice kids movie. And not everything about it is executed perfectly, but I just have such a soft spot for it, you know. I like the moral question mark that it brings of like keep on dreaming. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen? You should dream. Dreaming is good. And I don't think that that's a bad thing to teach people. Also, yes, Klaus looks absolutely amazing. Where I need more. I just need more movies that look that good. I need a color for this log, but having a hard time pinpointing it. Aha! I'm gonna go with this one. No, the log should be down. You are in Brazil. I am. I am in Brazil. Did you watch slash read Narnia? I did watch, I think, all three movies that came out when I was a kid. There was, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. There was Prince Caspian. And there was the one with the boat. I don't remember the name. So I watched those three. And I remember they were good, but also it's kind of like, it's just not my cup of tea, I think. The movie specifically. As a kid, that's what I thought. Nowadays, maybe I would have more of a soft spot for it, just because it is basically Lord of the Rings for kids. They were trying to make a Lord of the Rings-ish movie, and they succeeded. And as a kid, I didn't really care much about it. I did read, quote unquote, read the three books that correspond to those movies. So The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and the Voyage of the something something, A Viagem do Peregrino da Alvorada, the Voyage of the Dawn Treader. But I did like listen to them as audiobooks by this nice lady from a Christian website that just recorded them for free. And it was very good. But that was when I had to work at a school that was like kind of far from my house. So I had a lot of time to just listen to audiobooks and podcasts and stuff. And that's how I read all of the Harry Potter books, just audiobooks while I had to go to work. And then after I was done with Harry Potter, I was like, well, what else do people read? And I skipped straight to Narnia. And then what happened was I got a job that was closer to my house. And I started listening to audiobooks because I don't spend as much time in traffic anymore. And I know that like I read those three books, and then the other Narnia books, they're kind of different. There's something like that, isn't it? There's like they are either about like a time before the kids, or it's like a world building origin story. I don't know. So I keep thinking like, oh, I should read the rest of the Narnia books just because I know that they were about to get different, and I was looking forward to that. But I am not going to do it in audiobook form. There are some shows with amazing animation, but that's also because the artists get a lot of freedom, some of them anyway, and a lot of them are anime inspired as well. Yeah, I mean, 2D animation still exists in the form of TV shows. I don't want to minimize its impact or like its presence in the world today, but the stuff that's putting out the biggest amount of consistent 2D animation is just TV shows, which is good, you know? Give me the content, give me the media, but I wish we had more of it. Is it Narnia an allegory for the Bible, or was something my Christian family made up? No, there is a lot of Bible influence, just overall Christian influence in the Narnia books in general. Like the lessons that people learn, the problems that afflict them, they are very Bible/Christian inspired, which isn't a bad thing because in the end it all boils down to like be nice, don't be greedy, good morals, you know, things that decent people do. But it is a way of like, hey, let's give the kids some good Christian values. But I don't think that it hinders the story too much. Like it's still a good like fantasy book. It is kind of wild if you think about it. It's just a mishmash of things, and it's kids going on an adventure, and the kids have like they do not have personalities. It's just not there. They are just some kids. You can swap them out with any other good, polite Christian kids, and it would not make a difference. So you can project yourself onto them pretty easily. I don't think that was the intention. I just think that Mr. Staples wanted a nice role model for the kiddos. So he created four of the blandest kids in the planet. And that's like, they are bland because they are very Christian. They are basically walking moral lessons. But it's fun. It's fun to follow them around and like see what they're up to, and just they're kids having an adventure, and sometimes that's all you need. But yes, it is very Bible. I think the other Narnia books are so essential to understand all of the universe of Narnia. Yeah, I wanted to get to them. They I have heard good things about them, and I think they make the story richer overall, or so I'm told, but someday. I miss when Christian people made good media. Fair enough. Have you watched The Mitchells versus the Machines? And if so, did you like it? I haven't. It's on my list. I have heard wonderful things about it. I was not expecting people to like it. I was not expecting myself to like it, which is why I didn't watch it. But then I saw like all of the cool people that worked on it. My friends who watched it say that it's great and that they totally recommend it. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but I will. And I bet I'm going to have a fun time. Because nothing indicates otherwise. What is your favorite tragic animated movie? Tragic animated movie. Good question. Do I know any? I'm thinking just animated movies that made me cry? But I cry with a lot of things. Hmm. Mostly anime, I guess. One movie that I've been avoiding all my life is Grave of the Fireflies because I look at the cover of the movie and I already want to cry. One day I remember like I got home and my parents they had just come back from there was this store. My dad he likes to watch basically Japanese soap operas. He's learning Japanese and he wants to practice with Japanese media. So instead of going to the obvious anime choice, he chose Japanese soap operas and he has to buy the copies at like this one store in my town that sells them. And one day they came back from that store and my mom was like, "Hey, I bought a movie that the guy recommended. It's called Grave of the Fireflies. We should watch it as like a fun family-friendly pastime." And I just turned to her and I was like, "Are you crazy? Do you want to kill me through crying?" And she was like, "Why?" And I explained what the basic premise of the movie was, and to this day we have not watched it because we haven't gathered the courage to. I can't say that's my favorite tragic animated movie because I have not watched it. But I don't know what my favorite tragic animated movie would be. I did watch, what's the name of that one? It's like all rotoscope and it's about the war and it's good. Is it Waltz with Bashir? Bashir? It's good. I remember I watched it with a friend and I liked it. So I guess I'm gonna go with this one. Have you seen Sailor Moon? I haven't. But at the same time, like I have consumed Sailor Moon thanks to the internet, you know. All of the aesthetic posts, all of the posts about gay. It's just beautiful. I have watched an episode or two just to get a fix for that aesthetic, but I haven't really watched Sailor Moon like religiously or seriously. Even Sailor Moon Crystal, which I don't really have an interest in watching, but it's the newest one. The movie is one word: pain. Only pain. That's why I haven't had the courage to watch it. A Silent Voice is very good though. I remember watching it. I didn't cry with it. I don't think I did. But it will make you cry. I guess I didn't cry because I wasn't in the right mindset to cry. But it's good. Is it tragic though? Like define tragedy. I guess it's tragic because it's sad. A lot of sad things happen. There was one movie that was recommended to me once, and I don't remember the name. I'm great at movie recommendations. People recommend movies, and I'm like, great, I should watch that, and then immediately forgot the name. But it's Max, something and Max. Like, I'm thinking about Max and Ruby. That's not it. But it's Max and some other name, and it's claymation, if I'm not mistaken, and Max and the other name exchange letters, and it's really sad, and the person who recommended it to me said that it was really good, and I trust them, and I was like, oh, I should watch that, and I haven't watched it to this day, but if I did, I bet it would end up being my favorite tragic animated movie, just because it looks tragic, and it looks good. I got a new question. What kind of music do you like? Do you listen to any at all? I listen to loads of musicals. Current obsession is The Great Comet of 1812. Totally recommended. Have not heard of it. The Great Comet of 1812. It sounds interesting. What kind of music do I like? I like good music. I don't know what that means. Oh, can I? Let me do this. I'm going to duplicate this folder. Gonna name it copy. Gonna merge everything, and that way I can clip it. No, that's not the merging button. I can clip it into a single layer, and I can shade it as one unit. Music. I guess I'm more of a pop trash kind of person. I have been on I like 21 Pilots. I know that they are problematic. Tyler is kind of canceled right now. He always is. But I like their music. I mean, their latest album is. I prefer their sad rap music. I like the cringiest of cringe when it comes to 21 Pilots. But I really like it. I like Bastille, even though I am more of a Wild World person than that's my favorite album. Their newest album is also like it's a bit too happy for me. What is it with bands that I like making happy music? Stay sad, people. I have been on a bit of a Dry the River phase since 2019. Like I first discovered them in 2013, I guess. And then I was like, oh, they are good. And then I rediscovered them in 2019, and I haven't been able to stop listening to them. They only have one album, and every time I listen to it, I unlock new emotions, and it makes me just a little bit more unhinged every time. So I guess I don't really have a musical style because what I do is I find one band or one song that I like and I listen to it forever, the end. But as for musicals, I know it's cringe, but I do like Hamilton, Sue Me. I watched In the Heights lately. I watched In the Heights not a long time ago, and I also liked it. The problem with musicals sometimes is just, well, you want to listen to a song and then you play it, and then there's like people talking because it's part of the thing, you know? But I don't want to listen to people talking. I just want to listen to the song. Like, I remember I saw Billy Elliot, the musical, and I really loved it. And there was one song that I really liked, and I tried, like, searching for official recordings of it, and all the official recordings have, like, dialogue in the middle of the song. Because, yeah, they're talking, they're having a dialogue in the scene where the song is playing when they're singing the song, but I wish they weren't. So not every musical music piece is a good fit for me just because I have very specific tastes, I guess. It's not a problem with the music itself or like the musicals or anything. It's just me being weird. The great comment is all singing, actually. Good. I already love it. I should look into it. In the Heights is so good. I got to watch it with the OBC. I wish I had watched In the Heights in the big screen, but that's just not a thing that we are doing here. The bootlegs have no dialogue. I am searching for this Comet musical. Hello. Hey, it's Dingo. Thank you for coming. That's alright, Jew. You can come and go as you please. I am just shading everything in this mustard yellow so that I can see what I'm doing, but then I'm gonna do that trick, you know, and I make it a nice color, and then I make it transparent. And also, I gotta add the ground, and I gotta make the Hobbit's blush. That's very important. Musicals is also something that, like, I wish I had a bigger. I wish I watched more musicals. That's it. That's what I'm trying to express here. Musicals are good and they're fun, and every time I watch a musical, I'm like, oh, I should watch musicals all the time, and then I don't. I want this to be shaded in red, but because of the jacket, I don't know if that's going to be possible. Hey! Hey, it worked! Good. I am going to increase the shading here, I think, just because it was a bit too subtle. Maybe a little bit more? I like it. Ooh, I like how this is coming out. I'm gonna add some texture to Sam's jacket, just make it a little bit more raggedy. A little bit more well worn, you know. This is how you do art. You go around making new scribbles on places. And then you're like, yes. And if it doesn't work, you can just erase it. And if you can't erase it, you just live with it. It's part of your style now. The problem with digital art for me is that I just take more time. It takes longer. It's not like, oh, I'm being more careful with the digital art. No, I just literally take longer to draw digitally. With traditional art, I feel like I draw so fast, maybe because I have more experience with it. And it does feel more natural, so there's less of a barrier. But whenever I'm drawing digital art, it takes like 500 years for me to achieve something that I'm pleased with. All right, feet time. Drawing the hairy feet should be nice because I got to just squiggles. Yeah, baby. We are squiggling. No, I'm leaving this one out. All right, squiggle part 2. There's actually like it's a calculated art, the squiggles. I wish I could master it. My biggest dream is to just make a squiggle and it's like exactly what I want. I will apply some shading to it later. Now let's just get the other color and just squiggle a bit more. Yeah. I don't like how the squiggles are kind of connecting there. Need a nice... Now it looks like a wave. When I try to do a calculated squiggle, it doesn't turn out as nice. I'm going with this one. Let's get a darker skin tone and just kind of dirty it up, I guess. It will make it like lighter later on. Not lighter, transparent. Yes, yes. Ah, that's too hairy, man. I don't know. How else am I supposed to draw a hobbit foot? Her feet him out. Did you see the Pixar put out a trailer for the next movie soon after Luca came out? No. Huh. I should check it out. I don't even know what's going on with Pixar. Like, the last thing that I had heard from them was Luca. Which I loved, by the way. It was really good. And now let's make him blush. Blushy blush. They're so cute. I am dying. Oh my god, they're just good boys. Okay, I am going to shade the log. By shading, I mean make some squiggles. And finish drawing the other part of the log. Okay. I love the texture of this brush so much. Like, it just make a line and it's a good line right there. There's an easier way of doing this had I organized the layers. Where's my log? Okay, so it's inside folder 51. Ah, there it is. But it's not going to work because I have the copied layer on top. So yeah, never mind. I'm not doing this. I'm doing this the hard way, baby. Let's suffer. I wish Italians were real, yes. Disney slash Pixar is on a streak. Is it? Is it really? I don't even remember what kind of movies they've been putting out. Like, I really liked Soul. But what came before it, you know? They made a bunch of sequels. I didn't really like The Incredibles 2. Like, it was just okay. And what is Disney doing? I haven't... Like, Frozen 2? I don't care. Like, if you like Frozen, that's great, and I'm sure you're going to have a wonderful time. As a lot of people did. But when Frozen 2 came out, I was just so disappointed. I mean, I wasn't the biggest Frozen 1 fan, so there's that. But, I don't even know what I want. I am still not over how disappointing Wreck-It Ralph 2 was, but that's just because I love Wreck-It Ralph 1 so much. It's one of my favorite Disney movies, and in my opinion, it's like the last really good one. Because after Wreck-It Ralph 2, what do I have? What do I have to cherish? I don't cherish Frozen. Frozen is okay. Oh, I do like that shade though. Nice, we have a log. Should I shade the rock? Let's suffer again. Every time I shade rocks, I have to look up a tutorial on how to shade rocks. And then I forget how to do it. So I'm just gonna wing it and suffer again because I'm gonna have to erase those borders. Like, shading a rock should be more complex than this, but the rest of the shading on this piece isn't really complex. So I'm just gonna stick with it. The edges aren't perfect, but I'm calling it my style. I like this rock. It's a good rock. Isn't that like a Shrek line? I love this boulder. It's a good boulder. Ralph 2 was awful. I hated how they ruined Vanellope and Ralph's relationship and turned it more creepy than a father-daughter relationship. Yeah, I mean, like, would I call them a father-daughter relationship? It's a good way of interpreting it, I think. I just didn't, like, I can't even put into words why I really didn't like it. And like, I saw some people saying that they really loved it and like what they did with Ralph's character, and oh my god, they gave Vanellope so much depth and her song was just hilarious. And I didn't like, okay, the song was fine, but it can't save a movie. What could save a movie? I don't know. Wreck-It Ralph 1 just had such a good thing going for it. It's just self-actualization. In Wreck-It Ralph 2, I can't like say what's wrong with it because in theory it sounds nice, but then in practice it's just disappointing. But yeah, how dare Disney not do exactly what I want in a movie? There was a question that I forgot to answer though. You should draw Shaun the Sheep. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I should draw Shaun the Sheep. But I don't think I'm going to do it tonight. I think I'm going to finish this piece and call it a night. And maybe do this again in the future. I don't know. I had a good time. And the more I draw digitally, the better I get at drawing digitally so that I can do it faster and better and not suffer so much and learn to use the paint bucket like a real artist. I like the texture on Sam's hair better than the one that I did on Frodo's hair, but I wanted them to match. Is it bad to make it purple? Maybe if I made it a little more transparent? Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna leave it like this. Okay, now I'm gonna make some grass. Wreck-It Ralph 1 was amazing. Great timing, great characters. The pop references were done really good. I love Wreck-It Ralph. I'm a Wreck-It Ralph stan. Maybe one day I'll make a video about it. I thought about that possibility just because I love it so much. And I like talking about things that I love. And I think that people, like, Wreck-It Ralph 1 is almost 10 years old at this point, which means that I have been waiting for 10 years to really cherish a Disney movie again. They should just listen to me and make an animated movie with the same style that they used in Enchanted. That would make everybody happy, and by everybody I mean me specifically. Ah, yes. Okay, I wanted it to be more yellow. There we go. Let me make a new folder for the grass. Like, I'm not gonna be biologically accurate here, but I would like some plants. Oh, then I guess I should put the plants on top of the other things. Let's make a layer and call it plants. Lego Movie 2 was, I like the first one more. I haven't watched the Lego Movie 2, but the first Lego movie is a masterpiece. It is so good that I don't even dare touch it for now. Shaun the Sheep seems like a good character for next one. Yeah, I'm saving it. And also the 500 requests that I got on Twitter that I wasn't able to get to. I was looking forward to drawing a mermaid Luce and Amity from the Owl House. So that's something that I'm going to do eventually also. Is this green too intense? I think I need something softer? Maybe? Ah. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. Maybe what I do need is line art. Like I said when I was sketching this, plants are so cool to sketch because you just make some scribbles and there it is, you got a plant. But then in line art, you have to think about what you are doing. And thinking is hard. So I guess I'm not gonna go with this one. Yeah, we are planting this up. I should draw some flowers later, just some. I love it when people just like make some dots on the grass and it looks like flowers. I don't know if I'm going to be able to replicate this here. Serenity Venus. Yes, I will get to your suggestion eventually. I thought it was really nice. MatPat did a film theory episode talking about how the Emoji Movie was illegal. What? I haven't seen that one yet. One thing that left me really disappointed on the second film was that they had a really good dynamic in their hands, Felix and Calhoun adopting the Candy Kids, and they didn't do anything with it. They get the kids, and on the next scene they have mastered parenting. And like, what, I missed that B plot. Like, I feel like I'm gaslighting myself. Did it actually happen? It was a real missed opportunity, man. I kind of like what I did with the grass there, but it doesn't match the style of the rest of the drawing. Maybe I should just stop messing around with this patch of grass specifically. Just it's grass. Now I want to make some flowers, but I want to make a different layer for them and get like a really soft white. When I was a kid, I really didn't like when people drew flowers like this. You just kind of make a circle, and it's like a squashed circle with just a tiny splash of color in the middle. I don't know why, but I really didn't like it. And then I grew up and I learned to like things, and now I just love the way it looks. Bill Watterson draws flowers like this in Calvin and Hobbes. And as a kid, I was like, Bill, come on, stop being so lazy. Just draw a real flower. But nowadays, I love every single one of his flowers. Just a tiny circle with like a tiny thingy in the middle. They look like fried eggs. Should I stop it? They really do look like fried eggs. I think I'm gonna make the center, like flowers have, if I make it pink, is it gonna look weird? Ooh, maybe I should make the flowers pink. Now we're thinking with our brains. So there we go. Now we mess around with the settings until the flowers are good. I'm making them white again. Just a little soft baby pink. I like it. They don't look like fried eggs anymore, but I am about to make them into fried eggs by putting a little yellow thingy in them. A light blue, maybe? Maybe. You could get rid of those and pretend you ate the eggs. I will take that into consideration if I fail at the new flowers. What if I got the babiest of pinks? That doesn't work. The last baby pink? That's too golden. That works out. The problem when I'm drawing grass is that I think it's really fun to draw, so I focus too much on it, Like right now I'm gonna add more details because I really like drawing grassy patches, and I want to add just some specks, like how you see in grass. What is a grass without itty bitty specks. Do the specks look like, are they making the flowers look more like fried eggs? You know what? Fried egg flowers are a very hobbit core kind of flower, so I will leave them. The eggs will survive. And the specks are good. So now let's add a stem to a fried egg and see how that makes me feel. I don't care for it, so I'm not going to do it. The specks is a statement, and I stand. Thank you. Assumption. Well, that's what you get for drawing hobbits. I stopped watching MatPat because he claimed that the Auca files were sent in the past when it's obviously sent after summer vacation, and so I couldn't trust him. Was MatPat the guy, like, I am online, but I'm not online enough for this. Is he the guy that said that, like, Sans from Undertale is Ness? And then, like, Toby Fox was like, he's not Ness, please stop. Because if it is the same guy, then I kind of get it. Sometimes people just say things. I like solving mysteries, but some mysteries I just don't think that they need to be solved. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, sometimes things can just not have an explanation, you know? Like, there was... What's the name? Is like Super Carlin Brothers, I think. They made a video explaining like how Andy's dad died of polio. And like, well, it's certainly a theory, but I didn't really ask for it. But some people get really excited when they see a new theory about a thing that they like. So if that's your cup of tea, that's great. But sometimes I just think that you don't have to explain every single thing. Which again is a super arbitrary thing to say, because how do you define what deserves to be explained and what doesn't? In the end, it's just your opinion. I am going to take a screenshot of this because it's easier than saving it. I really like how these boys turned out. I'm really glad that I drew this one. Yes. Yes. Bending facts so much until they look plausible. Yeah. But at the same time, that's what I do when I want to prove that a character is not straight. So in the end, it just depends on your purpose and your audience, I think. And Andy's mom is Jesse's original owner. Well, that's just sad. Because you're supposed to feel sad with Jesse's story, and now I'm just like, Andy's mom, how could you? Which, you know, she was just growing up. Now I'm thinking too hard about Toy Story. I'm having too many feelings about animated movies. Story of my life. My beautiful people, I think I am going to call it a night here. I'm sorry that I didn't get to more requests. I guess I overestimated the amount of stuff that I would be able to draw in one night. However, I had a really good time drawing things, and it was so nice chatting with you all. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties at the start of the stream. Luckily, we were able to make something work, and I was actually able to draw something, which is a miracle in of itself. It's like 11 there. Yes, it is, but my sleep schedule is kind of messed up because I like to stay up late. And 11's not even that late anyway. So I had a really good time. Maybe I will do this again in the future. Let me know somewhere if this is something that you guys enjoyed. I completely forgot that this was supposed to be a 50,000 subscriber celebration thing because mostly that was an excuse for me to stream. But thank you. Thank you for 50K. I am still trying to convince myself that that's real. I'm still reeling in from that one, and I am so grateful for all of you, and I love you guys. It's, yeah, people are really nice around here. And I thank you guys for being so nice to me. I don't know. I had a really fun time. I know that I keep saying that, but that's because it's true. Oh yeah, Shanti, happy birthday. I don't know if it's already midnight where you are, but yes, happy birthday. I love you guys. And now comes the new challenge, which is figuring out how to end the stream. Okay, if I click the end stream button, maybe the stream will end. Every day I learn something new about technology. Yes, will I go to bed or will I just keep editing? A mystery for the ages. I will be posting the drawings that I finalized on Twitter as soon as I'm done with this. And next time I'm going to get that mermaid Lumity. I'm going to draw Shaun the Sheep, if that's something that you guys would be interested in seeing. And yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. I should end this with the... Hey, vai Brasil! Yes, vai Brasil. Serenity, your birthday is tomorrow? Well, happy birthday, congratulations. Yeah, get that birthday cake. Thank you for watching.